Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and I thought I would sit down and chat with you guys about something. I'm sipping my water. You guys a forearm shot. And this is a topic I guess is relevant, stuff I used to discuss a decade ago on here. It's time to jump back into that because we've had so many of these bodybuilders die. We're continuing to see it get more and more freakish. We now have this whole generation of guys again popping up on social media who are not going to be here in 5 to 10 years. And I'm probably going to discuss more of those examples. I discussed Sam Saluk the other day. He's not going to be here in 10 years. He's going to be gone, unfortunately. He seems like a good kid, so, I think that's most unfortunate. But what's going on with bodybuilding and the being a death cult? And I've been saying this for over a decade. This is one reason, even though I'm actually working on physique now a little bit instead of strength sports, even I'm not going to associate with bodybuilding, because of the nature of it. And people would say, well, what do you do about it? It's the IFBB, the judging is clearly to blame. In other words, if you stop giving wins and stop giving pro cards and first place or third place or even fifth place finishes to people who are clearly unhealthy and don't even have good physiques anymore because they're freakish, they're not aesthetic in any way, then it'll go away. And it's very simple. Enforce the rules they started talking about 10, 15 years ago. You saw that there. They're like, we're going to start scoring people down for having an insulin gut. Because it's not a growth hormone gut, it's an insulin gut. We're going to score them down for obvious site enhancement, but they didn't. Even in men's physique, it's still there. Perfect example, and I said this years ago, and I have nothing personal against Chris Bumstead. I have nothing personal against the guy. I don't follow bodybuilding that closely. Guy has a lot of oil in there. It's a very visible amount of oil and things like his delts. It's significant. Of course, you say that and people say, I don't see it. I'm like, well, clearly you don't know what you're looking at. But they give the guy first place. They're giving him first place finishes at the biggest shows for physique. He's got all that site enhancement. Well, why aren't they enforcing the stuff they said they were going to do even for the open bodybuilding? They said years ago they were going to stop giving wins to the people who were freakish and didn't have these classic lines. Yet they're giving them Mr. Olympia titles. Therein lay the issue, because the insulin's a big part of it. Stop allowing them to be freaks. Start putting them last place. Stop putting them first. Stop putting them fifth. Put them all in last. But people have good physiques in. It's that simple. It will stop being a death cult when that happens. When everything from insulin to site enhancement is no longer rewarded. Okay, when you stop allowing guys to be so freakishly big that they're mutants. They look like mutants, not what we think of as bodybuilders. You go back to the 60s, maybe the 70s to some extent. Those guys still looked good. Go to that golden era. Start putting physiques like that into first. It will actually make bodybuilding more attractive to the mainstream. It will make it look more obtainable. Because you have all these people who are like, well, that's about looking good. But bodybuilding is no longer about looking good. It's no longer about the art. It's not any of that anymore. It has become a freak show to the point where they keep creating new classes to make it less freakish, and then they start rewarding freakishness. When men's physique guys are more freakish than the open bodybuilding Mr. Olympia was in the 70s, what are they doing? Because they can't even say, well, we've got these classic classes. Well, no, because even your men's physique guys, if they're more freakish than Arnold or Serge Nubret in a men's physique, you've got a problem. You got a problem. Size them down. Make the waistlines come down. Get rid of anything that doesn't have those classic lines. Make it go away. They'll stop dying. Because all those guys are still alive. I mean, realistically, I mean, yeah, sure, Arnold has had genetic heart-related issues and other stuff, but he's still alive. Let's be clear there. A lot of those guys are alive right now. They're outliving the general population. They were all using pretty significant amounts of stuff. But it's nothing compared to what guys are doing today. They weren't using the same things or in the same amounts. Different world. It didn't destroy their health. Today they are. Then you have the whole party scene with it too. Okay, and that's what people are missing. They're like, well, they're dying because they're using some steroids. If that was the case, if just using high doses of steroids was the culprit, Arnold and those guys would not be alive. Yet they are. You got Arnold, Lou Ferrigno, all those guys still out there. They're still here. All right? That was over 40 years ago, closing in on 50 years ago. Those guys were in their heyday. They're still here. That's not the problem. And they used a lot of stuff. We need to be clear there. They weren't using really low amounts. They're still here. There's clearly some differences. And that should be the giveaway that people need to understand. It's enormous differences. And the judges could stop it at any time. They could stop it at any time. And I can tell you right now, if the top bodybuilders in the world look like those guys did back then, it would be more popular. I don't know why they don't do that. I don't know why they keep rewarding the freakishness and rewarding guys who use 10 grams of gear plus 10 times the insulin that your grandmother uses, with big distended guts and shoulders and arms with inches and inches of oil and scar tissue and fake muscle. Stop rewarding it. Put it in last place. The problem will fix itself. Just my opinion, though. All right, guys, but that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I'll talk to you guys next time.